Yeah. Tony's called from Norwich to carry on our conversation about cladding. Hello, Tony.
Hello, how are you?
Okay, I'm okay. Now, you live in a property with what kind of issues? Is it the Grenfell cladding or a different kind of problem?
Yeah, it's the Grenfell cladding, or at least I think it is. So we're in a development block here. There's probably around 350 apartments, part cladding, part not, kind of that sort of thing. But I think from our perspective here, we had a survey carried out by a fire consultant. We had a report completed in the end of December 2018, and it said it was all good, all fine. The block was originally developed in 2007. So we were all kind of, OK, that's good. We've had the report. And then I think, as other callers said, all of a sudden in January, this new report, EWS1, appeared.
Yeah.
Didn't really understand the difference in that report. But what happened was the first time we realised it was an issue, I think it's the first thing in terms of communicating that, is when people tried to sell their apartments and people, mortgage companies wouldn't loan against them. No, they wouldn't touch them. So we're a group of 350 residents maybe living in worthless apartments. I think we have a management company that are trying to get a report done. But the thing that comes, I think we're all private here, is that they've said, well, you'll have to pay for the report. We have no idea how much the report will be. We have no idea when the report can be done. And then the issue comes of we have no idea whether or not we have to pay for it fully, how it could be done, when it could be done. But then we contacted the Fire Protection Association, and they were kind of not confused, but they said it was a very fluid situation. So I think it's our perspective from a government point of view is we had guidance back in 2018. We had a report. Suddenly that report is ripped up. We don't know why, but it's ripped up. And here we are now all living in apartments that are, well, in effect, you can't move. And it's
Do you want
really
to move,
kind of,
or did you want to move?
No, I mean, we didn't want to move. I certainly didn't at the moment, but certainly quite a few of the people who lived here did. But the issue is that we don't know how long it will take to get a survey, how long or what it would take to get things repaired, who would pay for it. It's such a difficult situation. And I think we joined another group within the Norwich area, and it's obviously not just our apartments. And it must be hundreds, if not thousands, of people around the country where the government, by their lack of, it feels, clear direction or clear advice.
But who do you think should pay to get this sorted once and for all?
Well, I think somebody said it should come back to the original development, original insurance. I mean, the building was signed off by building regulations. I mean, it's not too long ago. It was 13 years ago. The people who originally provided the defect maybe, but it seems to be that everybody who might have built the building or has a responsibility to manage, insure it or loan against it are saying it's nothing to do with us, it's you as the resident. So it feels a little bit like, you know, your mortgage lender was sort of going, it's nothing to do with us. When, you know, you bought the property and a survey was done, the people that have bought it are kind of saying, well, it was over 10 years ago, it's nothing to do with us. The freeholders of the building are saying it's a leaseholder cost. So as a leaseholder, you're just sitting in a limbo of, you know, what do you do? And it's kind of, you know, obviously safety is a massive importance. Yeah. Is paramount. That's an absolutely key thing. Although you know, these have been here for a number of time, and we, as I say, the latest report was done in 2018. I believe there was another report done a few years before then. But now we're kind of got to wait for this EWS report. We have no idea when we can get it. We have no idea what it would cost, how any remedial things would cost, and it's just left everybody in a state of limbo. And it's very bizarre as you're living in a property which is, well, worthless, really. You couldn't sell it. Unless
and how is that affecting you? You sound very upbeat as you describe all of this to me, Tony.
Well, I don't know if I'm upbeat about it, but I mean, there's no point in sort of getting too depressed and down about it.
It's where you live. You've got to live there. Yeah,
you've got to live there. I mean, I can't move out and live on the street. I mean, but
No.
I think from our perspective here, we just want some real clear guidance from. There's the government, is it fire protection lobby? I don't know who, but somebody should give clear guidance that says, one, we can provide people to survey it. Two, then surely you can't just tell the leaseholder of an apartment, or you're responsible for it on your own. It's nothing to do with insurance companies. It's nothing to do with developers. It's nothing to do with people that provided the material. It's just on you. Bad luck. It sort of feels at the moment there's no kind of real coordinated management approach to it. So that's what sort of I would highlight. And it's sort of one day you think you've got a nice apartment that you've invested your money in, and
your home should never be a problem. I mean, you know yourself. Even if you haven't got anything like you're facing, but then I don't know, water comes through from the flat upstairs or something. You're not settled until it's fixed, are you? You know what I mean? Your home doesn't feel right until it's fixed.
Well, you're not, but you have insurance.
Yeah, of course.
Happens,
yeah.
You kind of, it's very awkward that there's a leak coming through your roof if you're lying in bed, but. I mean, you've got home insurance. I think the situation you have here, which is very unique, is we just don't know where we stand with any of it at all. You don't know whether you're insured for it. You don't know whether you've got to pay for it. You don't know what it would be, when it could be done.
And if you're not, who's going to pay for it? Tony, thank you. I wish you all well with this. I want to finish with speaking to Lynn. I don't want to keep Lynn waiting any longer before we go to the news. Lynn, hello, in Dinton. Hi.
Hi, Sheila. We actually have a success story, my daughter-in-law and son, but it is to the tune of £1,750 that they have to pay for a private survey. They got to a couple of weeks before exchange of contracts, before the mortgage company decided they weren't going to lend to the buyer because of the ESW1 problem. We are actually builders, and we sought advice from everybody regarding the situation, and they said that they had to risk spending out that money, not knowing what category it was going to be rated in their building. But thankfully, we've had absolutely weeks of complete and utter trauma in our family over this. My daughter-in-law and son were about to lose all their savings. My daughter-in-law is a ward manager at Watford General, so they were going to get a discount that they were offering the NHS. They had no stamp duty, and this was such a massive opportunity for them to buy their dream home. But we've had to pay for a private survey, which thankfully last Saturday morning was accepted by the mortgage company. The management company of the building refused to pay for a survey because the building is under 1.8 metres in height. And apparently at the moment, if it's below that height, they're not obliged to have to provide this certificate to everybody in the building.
And how is that affecting everybody?
Oh, Sheila, I can't even begin to tell you. I mean, their apartment building is full of young couples who are ready to take that next step in life, moving up the chain, having babies. Then they're not going to be able to do it.
It's a real obstacle to progress. I've heard it time and again. A real obstacle to your life progressing in those just ordinary ways that we want to be free to make choices if we're fortunate enough to be free to make those choices. Thank you very much indeed to all of you. Subject we will inevitably return to many times here on LBC.